Even though the BlackBerry brand has long disappeared from store shelves, something remarkable continues to happen. People still talk about it with warmth, nostalgia, and even longing. For a device that was once considered outdated, that kind of loyalty is rare, almost magical. In an industry driven by the next big thing, why do so many people still love their BlackBerry? The answer goes far beyond technology. It lies in emotion, identity, and memory. BlackBerry didn't just sell phones, it built a relationship with its users. And like all powerful relationships, it left a mark that time and innovation haven't erased. The era of connection and control at its peak in the early 2000s, BlackBerry was more than a gadget, it was a status symbol. Owning one meant you were connected, professional, and in control. Its blinking red light wasn't just a notification, it was a badge of importance. When it buzzed, you mattered. BlackBerry mastered the psychology of productivity and prestige. Its secure email system and perfectly designed keyboard gave users an incredible sense of control in a fast-moving world. Every click of those tiny keys was satisfying, deliberate, and efficient. A tactile experience that touchscreen devices never quite replicated. People didn't just use their BlackBerry. They bonded with it. It became part of their identity, their digital assistant, their communicator, their companion. That emotional connection didn't fade when the phones did. The comfort of routine humans are creatures of habit. Once we find a system that works for us, especially one that makes us feel capable and efficient, we resist change. For millions, the BlackBerry created that sense of routine perfection. The physical keyboard allowed users to type without looking. The trackball and menus made navigation second nature. The interface was predictable, structured, and stable. There was no endless scrolling, no distracting social media feeds, just focus and clarity. In many ways, BlackBerry represented the simpler side of technology, one that worked for the user, not against them. It didn't demand attention through algorithms or notifications. It respected your time. This sense of order created deep psychological loyalty. Users trusted their BlackBerry. It didn't crash. It didn't spy. It didn't overwhelm. In an age of digital chaos, it was a sanctuary of focus. Nostalgia, the emotion that never dies. Loyalty often grows from nostalgia, that bittersweet feeling of longing for something that once brought us joy. For BlackBerry users, that nostalgia is particularly strong because the brand was tied to milestones and memories. For many, their first job, promotion, or important deal happened with a BlackBerry in hand. It was the phone of achievers, dreamers, and doers. Politicians used it to lead nations, entrepreneurs used it to build empires, and families used it to stay connected across continents. So when people remember their BlackBerry, they aren't just recalling a device. They re-recalling a time in their life when things felt more direct, purposeful, and personal. That emotional imprint doesn't vanish, no matter how many camera lenses a modern smartphone adds. The BlackBerry identity. Psychologists often talk about brand identity, the idea that the products we use reflect how we see ourselves. BlackBerry didn't just sell hardware, it sold belonging. Using a BlackBerry meant being part of a tribe, the focused, the driven, the serious-minded. It was the tool of professionals, not trend chasers. When you pulled out your BlackBerry, it sent a silent message. I am not here to play. I am here to work. This identity still resonates. Even in 2025, forums and online communities of BlackBerry loyalists thrive. They share stories, trade old models, and reminisce about the golden age of mobile communication. For them, owning a BlackBerry isn't about functionality, it's about connection to a mindset. It symbolizes a time when technology empowered, not distracted, when communication meant intention, not noise. The myth of the keyboard. If there's one element that defines BlackBerry loyalty, it's the keyboard. Even today, users who once owned a BlackBerry can recall the satisfying click, click, click of those perfectly shaped keys. The keyboard wasn't just a design choice, it was a psychological anchor. It offered tactile feedback and a sense of mastery. You could type an entire email blindfolded, feeling each button beneath your fingertips. That physical connection between thought and action created a kind of intimacy with the device. Touchscreens, while sleek and efficient, removed that tactile satisfaction. For some, typing on glass felt like a downgrade, colder, less human. The BlackBerry keyboard wasn't just a feature, it was trust you could feel. Trust in a distrustful world. In the 2020s, privacy became one of the biggest concerns in technology. Companies were accused of selling data, listening through microphones, and manipulating users for profit. Amid all that, the name BlackBerry still stood for security and integrity. That reputation is a powerful psychological anchor. Even people who no longer own a BlackBerry often say, "At least I trusted it." Trust builds emotional loyalty. When users believe a brand protects them, not exploits them, that trust becomes almost sacred. BlackBerry earned that trust early, and it remains one of the few tech brands remembered for honor rather than exploitation. Why the love still matters. BlackBerry's legacy lives not because of nostalgia alone, but because it represents something deeply human, a yearning for purposeful technology. In a world of distractions, endless updates, and data mining, the idea of a phone built purely to serve you feels revolutionary again. The love for BlackBerry isn't really about the phone itself. It's about what it stood for: discipline, focus, privacy, and elegance. It was a symbol of intentional living in a digital world that's increasingly chaotic. Even though the devices are gone, the spirit of BlackBerry, the idea that technology should make life simpler, not noisier, is more relevant than ever. Conclusion: the brand that became a feeling. Loyalty isn't always logical. It's emotional. It's rooted in how something made us feel. For millions of users, BlackBerry wasn't just a tool. It was a companion that helped them build careers, relationships, and dreams. In 2025, that bond endures because BlackBerry represented a time when innovation served people, not profit. It reminded us that success comes not from chasing trends, but from creating meaning. BlackBerry may have left the smartphone race, but it won something far greater, a permanent place in the hearts of those who believed in it. And that's the ultimate measure of loyalty, when even after the product is gone, the feeling remains.